So, how do you guys want to start? Like, do you want to start with a big issue of, I believe, like abolitionism is authoritarian, or do you want to do uh, like the stuff that I can't be changed on? Well, I can be changed on everything. What?
That was a weird.
Yeah, so I guess the first one, abolition is authoritarian. Is that the first thing you wanted to go through?
I'm just sorry, just gonna cut out. Can you say it again?
Abolition is authoritarian. That's the first thing you wanted to go through?
Yeah, I just wondering. Okay, yeah, but we can do that then. So this kind of ties into the other points too, but the reason why I think that that's the case is because, well, first I want to start with things that we do agree that we can agree on. Say, and I hate to get into dramatics or like situations that hopefully we'll never be in. But like, say the desert island situation. We're in a desert island. Obviously, you and I, we all agree we would eat the vegetables and fruit before we eat the pig. Obviously. But now, say like you have a pig and you have a human, would you rather, and there's no other food options available, say bad harvest or bad, just situations of life, would you rather eat the pig or the human?
Wait, is this like a desert island scenario?
Yeah.
That's what you mean by abolition is authoritarian?
Well, I want to get like us to agree on the same morals, because then we can at least have a starting basis. Because like, to me, I believe that like humans have there's no trait in particular that makes humans.
Sorry, if you can find your mic, because I can't hear you actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
No.
No? Hold on a second. I just changed my settings here. I'm sorry.
Unable to place call on your Bluetooth phone.
Good. Okay.
Now it's good.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry. But like, so my thought process is obviously humans and animals, there's no real justification for me to say, hey, I'm gonna eat a pig over eating tofu, eating, all like a vegan diet. But now say when it comes to like survival situations or situations where we're not economically as, in a situation where, we could thrive and not starving, a pig, in terms of eating them, is more valuable. Like, I'd rather eat a pig than a human. Like, could we agree on that? Is that something that you would agree on?
So just to make sure, this is like desert island, you have a human being and you have a pig. And in order to survive, you have to eat one? Killing it?
Yes.
Yes. I would personally kill neither and starve myself.
Yeah, if the situation is that you have a human, a pig, and yourself on an island, and you're just going to die anyway after like X days, and the pig just keeps you alive for how many days longer, you're just going to die anyway.
Yeah.
You just kill neither.
Okay.
It also like is irrational, right? If you're trying to survive, it would be more rational to kill the human being who weighs more than a pig. And, eat the human being and feed the pig the human being as well. That would be more rational.
Okay. Well, so the reason why I want to get to that point was like, say in matters of, because I know right now we're in a very privileged time. I'm incredibly privileged to live in the current year of our Lord and be able to have access to grocery stores. But I do know that 100 years ago, it was very different. Access to grocery stores was way different. Transportation was obviously different. We didn't have the luxuries of life that we do now. And starvation due to bad crop harvest was a thing. So, but then you would have like hunting. You would have obviously like the food, edible food that we can eat is, like there's where we can't eat grass. We can't eat a variety of things that say a deer can eat or a wild boar can eat. So there were times where we had to rely on, say, eating animals because they had the luxury of being able to eat being able to eat vegetables that are digestible to us.
I don't even know if I have to grant you that we had to. We didn't give a shit and we did it, but I don't if you think there is so when it was like too cold or there was like some kind of a plant plague and crops would be wiped out, you think the grass wouldn't be wiped out? You think the animals wouldn't be starving as well? But the animals, I'm not even granting you that we did it for survival 100 years ago, especially. What's your evidence for that?
I mean, because it's just historical. Like during times of famine, people would hunt, and my grandma, she's in a position with very poor. She's born 1927, so say 1930s when she was younger. They had kittens, and they couldn't afford to feed the kittens. But naturally, when a cat gave birth, they had cats for mice and pests, but she would have to kill the kittens because it was a resource thing. Like obviously they'd have to feed the kittens too. So instead they would kill the cats because they're in such an economically poor situation in life that they can't have less mouths to feed. They have to rely on
and yet
killing
she
the
had
cats
a fucking
and
cat.
other animals. Yeah, they had a cat, but that was because they had to have the cat in order to keep away from pests and to it was a tool.
Yeah. Okay.
Much like how dogs are tools.
I'm gonna grant you everything. What's your point?
My point is though, just because we are economically privileged now doesn't mean say we're privileged right now. Everyone can go vegan. I am 100% there with you. But all it takes is a bad stock market. All it takes is historical situations where people have literally gone to points of starvation, where they had to eat animals just for a way to survive. So the process of banning that and banning, I mean, factory farming, if you ban factory farming, I'm iffy on that, but I still economically, it still is a worse situation to ban something because banning something puts the government in a situation that doesn't really move compared to the economic circumstances of life. So you could say in England, you can't own firearms or whatnot. So they have the rules that it's hey, you can't own firearms. So they rely on the government.
Point. I'm losing.
Yeah, what's the point? Can you just put it into a syllogism or a quick point? I don't know where you're going with it.
So the point is when you have a government make the rules to be able to say ban something, governments they have police and law enforcement because that's the way that they control society, but they don't have the knowledge of how people live their everyday lives. So at the expense of someone starving, a government, because they put rules in place, would rather a person starve and have law enforcement prevent them from, say, killing an animal that otherwise would have been food because it's the government.
Can you
Let me
But
just
now, if that was
I'm so
let me just
sorry.
ask a few questions. Do you think it's good that the government bans like child starvation? Like if they find out that I'm not feeding my kids enough food, should they ban me from not feeding them enough food?
I mean, if it's up to the point where it's pure neglect, yeah, because there's obviously cases where like you have people that are overly overweight, but their kids starve, and that's neglect.
No, I just mean like,
But
should there be a ban on me starving my kids? Yes or no?
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So like, are you aware of the Dust Bowl, like from the 1930s?
No.
Yeah, so in the United States in the 1930s, there was a thing that happened called the Dust Bowl, where like all the crops died in the Midwest, and there was mass starvation. Lots of children died of malnutrition. Extreme events happen. But do you think like just because things like that happen and people aren't able to feed their kids, do you think it's still good that we have a law that keeps people from starving their kids?
I mean, there is definitely okay. You got me there. I understand like there is exceptions for it, but like because in that instance too, that obviously it was illegal. Like people starved to death because they didn't have the resources for it. But it wasn't like there was understandings where it's like, hey, okay, there's a lack of food, so
Sorry,
people are going to die.
sorry.
But
I'm so sorry. Forgot my account. I'm just really still trying to understand. Are you saying let's not stop exploiting and slaughtering animals in case something catastrophic happens?
I'm saying we shouldn't ban the ability to do it. Like ideology,
Because something
absolutely.
catastrophic might happen one day. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
You
Yes,
know
absolutely.
that we have like globally, and I think pretty sure locally as well, we have like food, like plant food reserves. We have like a biobank for like different crops of food, except for bananas, I guess. We don't need to continue exploiting and slaughtering animals. By the way, feeding them like 33% of crops that we grow for human beings are fed to animals, wasting all of that food, wasting all of those calories, wasting all of those supplements that are added into that feed as well. We don't have to continue to do this just because one day some kind of a global disaster might happen. That's insane. Like, what if the slavers in the 1600s said the same thing, or in the 1800s? They would like, listen, we might get like a disaster one day, so let's just keep some slaves.
I mean, but the issue is with that is we also still rely on slavery, if not darn pretty close to it, for modern industry to this day. So it's like it's one of those things we just outsourced it. But my issue is that okay, say you have
Wait,
we're
are you
blessed and
pro-slavery now?
oh no, absolutely not.
So we should
I mean,
abolish slavery if we can, like even the gray area slavery that you must be talking about. Should we abolish it?
100%.
Yeah, so why shouldn't we abolish
absolutely
animal agriculture then?
because I mean because mainly it is because it like is a food resource for people that otherwise might have to rely on it in the future. And
Again, you
I'll be
do
honest with you.
understand. Again, I'll just like reiterate: we waste resources by raising animals for food. We waste resources that we could actually store somewhere and have it like stored for a rainy day.
But like, so you and I both agree on the instance that like we do not need to farm animals.
Yeah, but you are
for
saying let's not abolish animal agriculture in case one day there is like some kind of a some kind of a global disaster, which, you know, we're fucked either way. I don't know why we should keep animal agriculture alive for that. Like, I don't understand. If it's a global disaster, we're fucked either way. And you want to
Yeah.
continue in perpetuity to exploit and slaughter animals just in case something happens one day. I'm just
So
really
the reason
trying to
for
understand, right?
yeah, no, okay, I understand what you're saying. So the reason for my thought process is because like, okay, say we have the system that we have right now, and we go with the vegan concept of like how it is at the moment, where, well, like the traditional definition of reducing exploitation, always applicable and practicable. So in that instance, the industry of animal agriculture would go because there's no market for it, which I agree with. That is capitalism to its finest. I love it. But now, say, given a couple years down the road, we are in an economic situation that we are fucked, as you say, but there's like a deer walking, or there's food that is otherwise accessible that we are starving because without industry and economic.
Yeah, no, just fucking starve. You don't have the right to take somebody else's life for you to live, especially because since it's going to be short-lived, since the wildlife is actually just like only 2% of the sentient world population, and you're going to run out of deer in about 2 days, if that's the issue, right? So you're talking about like some kind of an apocalyptic day, and you want to reserve the right to shoot animals in the lungs in case that happens, to survive for another 2 days. Bro, just store some grain under your bed or something.
I mean,
I just want to ask, like, what does this have to do with you going vegan or not, like, right now?
No, I am on right now. I am trying to like do everything that I am sad to admit that like I don't know how to. I'm trying my best. Like I'm going through recipes. I am actively trying to be vegan. Like I bought a bunch of stuff to make seitan and all that stuff. Like I am
So
working
in
towards
case
it.
of just to like go back to this thing, yeah, we gave them challenge 22. Don't worry, Don. So just to go back to this, if you're in a global weirdness situation, some kind of apocalyptic shit, what do you think would be easier, to reach under your bed and get a bunch of dry lentils, or to go shoot a deer?
I mean, that's the thing too. Though, like nothing says for you like to not do that. Like obviously, I am fully
you can just like fucking store a bunch of lentils and a bunch of canned beans, the way preppers do, right? You can just like omit the huge amount of meat they store as well, right? You can just store dry vegan food. You can store TVP. That's an incredible resource of protein, right? You can just, and then all you have to do is like reach under your bed or wherever you put your prepper case, right? And grab some dry stuff, add some water to it, heat it, and there you have food. You don't have to go out and like a fucking savage start shooting animals in the necks and the lungs, being unsuccessful most of the time, right? And starving probably anyways. You don't. Why are we even talking about this? I'm not even sure. Right.
You know, it's funny. I was actually looking at shelf-stable tofu yesterday. You can buy that at Asian grocery stores. And when I was Googling it, what's funny is Reddit prepping came up, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, look at this amazing protein source that's shelf-stable." And everyone in the prepping community was like, "Holy shit, you can get shelf-stable tofu? Amazing!" It's just funny.
Absolutely. No, I do. I agree with you. Like that's incredible, and you should 100% do that. But the issue is like, say, living in Canada, living in, well, I'm in the States now, but like being in that
Bro, they have
situation
beans in
where,
Canada. We know vegans in Canada. In fucking Winnipeg, we have vegans there in the middle of like freezing crazy shit. Right now, those vegans can, if they want to prep for an unlikely apocalypse, world apocalypse, they can go and buy a bunch of beans and store them somewhere. It's gonna be so much
so
easier to eat like that than go and shoot deer in the fucking head.
yeah, no, and I do agree. And just for the record, like this is just aside from justifying killing animals. Like everybody should at least have a week or 2 weeks worth of food because, especially in Canada or even in Buffalo, snowstorms happen. You can be out of electricity for for a week, and
Sure.
if you don't have access to food, you're screwed. So like everybody should do that.
Yeah.
But
Did we
my
solve
issue
your
is
prepper issue? Did we solve your apocalypse issue?
no, because I'm really not trying to like I really want to
By the way,
solve
I
this issue in
didn't
my
get an
head.
answer from you. What would be easier to do? To cook up some lentils or to go shoot a deer in the head?
100%, it would be easy to cook lentils.
Okay, so
Like
what's the issue
I do
now?
agree.
So what's the issue now,
But
please?
the issue is say I am farming and I I grow food, I grow mainly a majority vegan stuff as I can, or as much vegan stuff as I can for the year. A chicken, on the other hand, they can be in a coop, they can eat vegetables, they can have a food source that is them where I don't have to feed them. I don't have to like or even a cow. Like I don't have to feed them. All I have to do is just move them. And it's one of those scenarios where it is a guaranteed food source because they feed themselves,
What the
they
fuck
live,
are
they
you
populate.
talking about? Most homesteaders feed chickens commercial feed because it's incredibly hard to come by anything else. Also, what the hell are you talking about? Chickens, you sneeze on them, they die. That's not like a fucking available food source. They keep dying on you. And cows, like in the winter in Canada, you have to feed them something when the grass is covered with like 2 feet of snow. What are you talking about, bro? Do you know how much how much forage and silage farms store for the winter for cows? Do you know how much feed goes into raising a chicken? Trophic levels, dude. And if it's a winter for you and hard for you to come by food, it's 10 times, literally 10 times harder to come by food for the cow in the winter. What on earth? You like disconnected from how animal food is produced.
I mean, but the point is the concept of how, say, deers, they don't, like, they forage their own food. Certain animals, they forage their own food. The concept is, and this is more
I'm
of like
not
the morality
understanding. You
of it.
said it would be easier for you to cook up lentils. I'm not understanding why we're going back to shooting a deer in the head.
It would be, but because it provides an extra food source that otherwise would not have been provided given bad harvest, or just say given even if the harvest is perfect. It
Joe, can you deal with this? Joe?
because like the way I look at it is when you look at like your family, obviously I understand like on a moral level, say, hey, starve. But when you have a family and kids, you're gonna do everything to make sure that they're okay. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, morally we say, hey, just eat lentils. But if I'm in a situation dirt poor, I have no other choice but to eat an animal,
I'm just really
or at
confused.
least
Like,
like
where is this going?
Yeah.
it's The reason why I'm saying this is, and like why I disagree with abolitionism, is because the moment you make that illegal, then that puts the government in, which could be an otherwise meal that would, be life or death for a person of an economic situation that I am not in, and hopefully I would never be in, but maybe somebody else is. So it's one of those things where it's like
Wait, you think in the
the
middle
act
of
of
the apocalypse, the government is going to prevent you from like killing people to eat, for instance?
it doesn't have to be the apocalypse, but
What
if
else
you
would
just,
that
just
be?
looking at,
Some kind of a global fucking
I mean,
disaster that you're talking about. What else would that be?
North Korea, for example, they take all their food. Like most of the people are starving, and North Korea has access to all of their food, and they use the government to take it. So that's not even just global apocalypse. That's basic economics. If you give the government permission to have control over your food, then you can have.
They already have control over your food.
They do, but they haven't outright banned eating meat or banned basically
Sure, they
basic
have
necessity
control
aspects of
over
life.
your food. 100% of your food is under control of the government, including being subsidized in case of like for like food security. So I'm truly fucking not sure what kind of conspiracy theory you're cooking up there. Can you like summarize it in like 10 minutes?
Yeah, just like
Um,
in the scenario where meat production was abolished, you don't think there would be a contingency plan put in by the government to like have these food stores?
Absolutely not. You believe you because
You
here's the
don't.
thing that
Wait,
takes
we already have
trusting in the
that.
government. Yeah, but here's the thing: like those food stores would go for places, say, out in the cities, or people that have, like
Have you ever seen
economically
a
dense
grain
areas.
have you ever seen a grain elevator?
Grain elevator? No.
Have you ever like driven around America, or you haven't
Oh,
seen?
like the silos and all that, the grain storage bins and whatnot.
Yeah, you know that those exist, and a lot of that feed is just going to like animals now.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it's the
So
concept of
what's the point of that you're trying to make? I don't understand.
The point is
because
trying to
the
make. Hold
point
on.
is that
Forgot my account. I'm gonna try just for like the sake of brevity. I'm gonna try to Stillman. In
okay.
case the government bans animal agriculture and then becomes incredibly corrupt, you think we shouldn't ban animal agriculture, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, that's a good one. Sorry, I'm not
Were you
the greatest
listening to
linguist,
yourself
so
just right now? Were you listening to me summarizing it?
yeah.
And you say no.
But like, because you said in case we shouldn't ban ban animal agriculture because like just in case the government gets corrupt.
Sorry, can you
And
repeat
I
that
mean,
into the microphone? I'm not understanding what you're saying.
I'm sorry, we shouldn't ban animal agriculture because the government can be corrupt.
Okay.
That's the main thing. And
What's
the
your
main
So
evidence
wait,
that
wait,
the
the
wait.
government isn't already corrupt and therefore keeping animal agriculture alive?
I mean, when it comes to especially with uh like how they subsidize animal agriculture right now, they do 100%, and they are keeping it alive because a lot of tax dollars do go to that. But the principle of it is having a family that does not have the resources that, say, a person in the city would have. What if they're on economic hard times and they rely on deer or they rely on all these other animals just as a part of the resource for living? It's more so the fact that, like, when you have the government take control of that, then they control a bunch of aspects of your life. especially the very aspect of eating, is a huge thing. Because I know like nobody's immune from corruption, and I don't want to ever see someone in a situation where they have to starve because the government says, "Hey, you can't eat that."
Wait, is your argument that the government shouldn't ban things if they're corrupt?
No, they shouldn't ban the principle of banning meat and the slaughter of eating animals. They shouldn't do that. That's a moral choice that us as individuals have to make.
They shouldn't ban. So, are there other like violences that the government should ban because if they're corrupt? I'm really confused on this. Or is it just for food?
It's for food. Yeah, I mean for food, that's the main thing. Because I understand the idea of like wanting to ban animal use.
You realize right now, like it's illegal to kill dogs for food. Should the government ban or lift the ban on killing dogs for food?
I'll be honest with you, like, they probably should, but that's mainly because.
You think the government should lift the ban on killing chimpanzees for food?
I think it should be complete free market, solely because I don't know what. I mean, obviously, no one's gonna have a chimpanzee because they're not native to this and they don't have the food resources to be able to like live wild.
Should the government lift the ban on killing humans for food?
Yes, they should keep banning humans. I mean, killing humans. They should keep that solely because human. Well, sorry, just because humans have, even if they don't have the mental faculties to sustain themselves, or they don't have, like say given economic circumstances, or like, even if they don't have mental faculties.
So let me just keep this straight. The government should lift the ban on killing dogs for food, but they should not lift the ban on killing humans for food. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the morally relevant difference between dogs and humans that justifies killing dogs for food but not humans?
So the difference is humans have the capability, even if, say, they're, well, I don't want to say brain dead, but they do still have moral agency that we've given them. But the difference is dogs are not, this is going to sound super dumb, but dogs are not human. Hence, yeah, they can be service, like they can be of service to humans, but the general well-being is we prioritize humans because they're able to provide skills, we're able to communicate. We have language that is understood by humans. This is like being the most basic, hey, government shouldn't ban this. I'm not saying like government.
Wait. Let me just get the clear difference. You just said language?
Yeah, language, just humanity, just the fact, the very trait of being human.
Language, humanity, these are the differences?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So if I find humans who are unable to speak, can I kill them for food?
No, but that's because they're human.
So
And I know
Can you drop that trait then? Not language. It's just human though. Human is the trait.
That wouldn't be the trait.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a trait. That
well, because
be a category. I want to hear traits.
Yeah, what's the difference between a dog and a human that would justify lifting the ban on eating dogs, but not lifting the ban on eating humans? What is the difference?
I mean, like, when it comes to, say, the survival of the human species, as like you and I as individuals, it was a degree of respect. I have more.
Yeah, have you seen The Walking Dead? Did you see that season where they like keep humans and farm them and eat them?
Yeah, but those humans.
Yeah. In that apocalyptic scenario, would that be justified? Or like should we lift the ban on eating humans because that might happen in The Walking Dead?
No, because that's basically equating it to, say, like slavery, having humans as
Yeah,
slaves.
just like the slavery of dogs or cows to eat them. So what's the difference between them and humans that would justify lifting the ban on eating them?
I mean, there isn't any difference. The sole difference
There
is
isn't
I
any
recognize,
difference.
yeah, because like
So
the whole
why
difference.
would you lift the ban on one but not the other? Shouldn't we just lift the ban on human meat then as well, since there's no difference?
Well, it's because like I can see humans. Say even if like there's a Japanese person and I can't communicate with like through language, there's other ways as us as humans, as the human species, as human beings, we can communicate. We can create societies. We can build a future. But when it comes to animals, yeah, especially dogs. I want to put dogs as an example because they are the perfect example for this situation. Where
So is it the
dog,
conjunction of communicating and building something? Is that the trait stack?
yes,
So if I find humans who can't communicate and build things, can I eat them? Like a
but
mentally
that's
disabled person? Like my cousin, Kimmy, she has the mental faculties of like a 2-year-old. She's mentally disabled. I'm not making that up, by the way. She's my cousin. Should we lift the ban on eating her since she can't really speak
no, but
or
because
build things?
she has the faculties to still be able to say like pick up objects or and
Dogs can
also
pick
here's the
up
thing too.
objects.
I know, but like in terms of like
What?
What if she's like
sorry.
disabled to the point of like paraplegic? Can Joe eat her then?
Yeah, what if she doesn't have hands anymore and she can only pick up objects with her mouth, like a dog? Then can I eat her or like pick up objects though? I never heard that trait before. That's funny.
Well, because here's the thing. Like we as a society
Sorry, can you answer the
have
question
had the
before you
ability.
go into the very into that stuff? Can you eat Kimmy if she's paraplegic and can't
No, of
communicate and
course
she
not.
has the faculties of a 2-year-old and she can't build anything? Can you eat Kimmy?
So
No,
do you
of course
draw?
not.
So earlier you said communicate and build something and pick up objects. If you take those three things away from a human, you still can't eat them. So that's not the traits. What is it then?
It is though. It is though because the
It is
very
So
though,
can you
but
eat
it
Kimmy?
isn't.
Can we eat Kimmy?
no, but the reason why is because right now we live in a certain timeline
Wait, so those
where
no. So those are not the traits that make it not okay to eat a human being. It's not communication, building something, or picking up objects. Because when we removed those traits from a human being, you still said no, you can't eat them. So it must be another trait that makes it totally okay to slaughter a cow or slaughter a dog, but not okay to slaughter a human being. What are those traits?
okay, what about the possibility that they can have those
No,
traits?
Kimmy can't do anything. She's a paraplegic. She's gonna stay like a 2-year-old in her mind her entire life. She can't communicate and she can't pick up shit and she can't build things. That will never change. Kimmy will forever be that. Can we eat Kimmy?
I mean, but 100 years ago,
Can we eat
we
Kimmy now?
said,
Not
"Oh,
100 years ago. Can we eat Kimmy now?
Yeah, kind of like you
no,
said, we should lift the ban on killing dogs for meat. Should we lift the ban on killing mentally disabled humans who can't lift things for meat?
no, of course
Yeah,
not."
so there must be a difference then that accounts for that differential normative attitude. What is that difference? And every time you name one, you say it's still not the difference.
Well, like just because at the specific moment we can't help certain individuals with their ailments or their mental faculties, but that doesn't mean that in a decade, in 2 decades, we don't have the ability to be able to cure that.
Yeah, so let's
It's
try.
one of those things.
Hold on. So let's lift the ban now, and in 20 years, when we make these recovery new things, right? Like this breakthrough in medicine, we'll ban it again.
Yeah,
But
so
the
like we don't have a cure for Down syndrome, severe autism, and all these kind of things right now. So we should just lift the ban, and then when we can teach, we could maybe in 50 years we can teach dogs to build societies.
so that'd be pretty cool. But the issue is is that, yeah, okay, right now, say even in 10 years, let's give it a 10-year scenario for autism or Down syndrome. Say from now till 10 years from now, yeah, okay, you say, hey, eat them, kill them, whatever. The issue is they have a longer lifespan than 10 years, obviously because we're helping them.
Well,
But
they won't have
it
a
gives
longer
them.
lifespan of 10 years if we kill them and eat them.
But the point is, like, you shouldn't, but they have the ability to say if
No, they
we
don't have any
are
ability
able
right
to.
now. Listen, it could be that in 10 years you can like cure Kimi, but probably not, right? So she's 52 now. We can just eat her now and not like guess what's gonna happen in the future, right? So forgot my account. I think you're not realizing just like that the traits that you named are not the traits that differentiate between a human being and a cow that makes it okay to kill a cow but not a human being. So can you find different traits, please? Let's assume that you are wrong, that you don't have the way to predict the future about whether or not we can cure Kimi. Let's just assume that you don't know that. And those people will forever be not able to communicate, not able to build anything or pick up stuff.
I mean, because that goes into, like, that's why I fully agree with you. There is no trait that makes humans different from animals. Like, we all have sentience. We all have,
So
like,
what the fuck is going on? Why are you saying we shouldn't abolish animal agriculture? We should lift the ban to eat dogs again. Why the fuck are you saying that, Dan?
because I have seen, like, through history where people would have to eat dogs. They would have to eat, like, the most craziest things.
Yeah, and
Heck,
they would have to
China.
eat each other as well, but yet you are not willing to lift the ban to eat humans.
Well, I do agree. There has been scenarios,
There
heck,
you
during the
go.
Holodomor.
Now please update,
They would
like
eat.
take that what you just said, right? You said throughout history there were used to be like these instances where we had to kill animals to eat each other. The same applies to human beings. So either say lift the ban and kill all dogs, all cows, all human beings as well, because there is no difference between them, because throughout history we saw that people when they were desperate would eat either, right? So either say lift the ban for everybody or say no, ban everything, right? Because I think you're just like feeling with your emotions right now because you are like rewriting history here. So take all the history, if that's what you're relying on to make your decisions, take all the history, not selectively. Yeah? And make a decision.
Yeah, but say if someone had a dog or a rat or any of those,
Say
and they're in an
somebody had
instance
a
where they,
child.
yeah, I agree,
Yeah,
but they would
then they
rather
could
eat
eat a
a
child
dog
if
or a
they're like
rat.
really fucking desperate.
Yeah, and that is a thing. But they would rather eat a
No,
dog
if
or the
that's
cat or a
wait,
rat before the.
wait, I've heard that before, right? You don't have to repeat yourself. So if in circumstances of dire need, right, one could kill their dog, their rat, their grandma, then make the decision now based on that. Either lift the ban on all of them or ban all of them.
But why would you make a decision like that? It's one of those things where, like, clearly at the moment right now, like, we are in a scenario where we don't need to do that.
We just
But
like start over. This is like gone off the rails. So the original claim was abolition is authoritarian, and you want to like
yes.
keep things legal in case of an extreme contingency plan. Is that what you're getting at?
Or just general corruption and bad economics.
So because the government might be corrupt, therefore we should lift the ban on eating dogs?
I agree. I do agree.
Wait,
That
that's
was a
your...
I mean,
question. That wasn't like a statement that Joe made from himself.
Well, because here's the
I'm just trying to like get it clear. Like you said, in case of like apocalypse and or government corruption, we should keep animal holocaust legal, and then also make more animal holocaust available in case of these things. Is that what you're getting at? I just want to like try to understand.
Here's the thing too, is
Sorry, can you
people
answer the question
do
before
eat.
you veer into another story? Can you answer the question?
Okay. Well, we do have a moral framework that eating dogs is immoral. Like we as a
Wait, so
society
shouldn't live
know that
Tibet
it's wrong.
eat dogs now?
I mean, obviously it's wrong, and like there should be a situation in life where we provide people food and
So
resources
it's wrong in
instead of
case of
having
a
them.
dog, but not wrong in case of trillions of pigs, chickens, fish, cows, sheep, goats. Whom else are we farming? Holy fuck. All of those animals, octopuses. So it should
Yeah.
be illegal, like it's immoral and illegal in case of a dog, but not immoral and illegal in case of trillions of animals that we farm right now. You want to keep that around in case some conspiracy theory happens.
Here, can you just look at the side chat? I just wrote it down just to. Is this your thing? Let me just read it out. In case of dire scenario, for instance, starvation, crop loss, and or government corruption, we should lift the ban on eating all animals except humans, even though there is no differential trait to justify the non-humans.
Yes. And here's the thing with, you know
That
what?
makes
Okay, I will
no
admit.
fucking sense.
Well, because like humans, there's an inherent. I can't describe what that trait is, and
There's an
clearly,
inherent. Is it like a god thing? Are you religious?
I am. But like, just taking religion out of it, just the act of humanity is like,
Well, if you
obviously
can't
you
name
have
those
more
traits,
value.
so forgot my account, if you can't name those traits that make the difference between a human being and a cow or a dog, then surely you can recognize that your argument right now makes no sense because you can't reason through it. You can't explain what the difference is between those two.
I am willing to back that a little. And when it comes to a dog, you know what? Okay, if like people do eat coyotes, they do eat wolf, they do eat a variety of those
Wait,
that
do you know the
basically
difference
don't.
between is and not?
Is and not? What do you mean?
Is and versus ought. I'll write it down. Is versus ought. Do you know the difference between those two words? Yeah.
I ain't got the. No, I'm not sure.
Okay, so is the reality right now. You're saying, well, people eat coyotes, in China people eat dogs. Okay, we know that. We don't need the reality lesson. Us as vegans, we know much better than anybody else which animals human beings eat and which no, they don't. This is a conversation about morality. Why
Yes.
should we accept your assertion that we should continue to holocaust trillions of animals every single year just in case something happens one day, maybe?
Because I think the main reason for me is laws should be made in a way that benefit humans, but also not just in a privileged situation, but in the worst possible situation.
Wait.
So, like I
How
say, the government.
what makes you think that us farming animals benefits humans in any kind of way?
It doesn't. Well,
Yeah, it's a
for
great
right now,
detriment to humanity right now.
at this
And
current
you
time,
are advocating to continue that great detriment to animals, obviously, and to humanity, just in case something happens one day, maybe. I
No,
understand why
no,
it's so
I
fucking ridiculous what you're saying.
well, because I'm saying we should obviously stop that, but through our own moral agency. Like I am not like I would never eat a dog because I'm not
Sorry,
in a
there is a
situation.
bunch of stuff that happened throughout history that we didn't stop through our own moral agency, and government had to force us to stop murdering each other, to stop raping each other. Is that like an authoritarian act to ban rape?
No, but that's because it's the fact for human. Because all
Wait,
humans are created.
is it immoral for government to ban bestiality?
Yeah, of course it is. Wait, no, sorry, I'm sorry. No, it's not immoral to ban bestiality.
So we should ban
I'm sorry.
fucking animals, but we should not ban slaughtering animals. What's the difference there? In
Because
authoritarianism,
having
right?
sex
What's the difference in what the government is going to do?
because having sex with an animal is not a means to create more humans or have food. But
Sorry,
obviously,
why do we have special pleading for those two things?
because at the end of the day, people like say in a normal like a country like say Colombia or whatnot where they have stray dogs, people would in fact eat those dogs if they were hungry.
Yeah, what
And
about like if somebody just like wants protein, right, in their diet, they want to increase protein in their diet, and they decide to do it through sucking of bulls. Is that should be allowed?
no, because that's
No,
like
that's for
that's like
food though.
being a bull.
That's bestiality for food. So according to you, a government shouldn't be authoritarian, and they shouldn't ban sucking of bulls.
I mean,
You see how
it's
you
never
are
been a
so
thought in my.
fucking confused? Can you see forgot my account?
Well, it's because like I've never had the thought to have
Mhm.
sex with a German Shepherd. That's not
That's
like
fine.
you
That's
know.
again, you're just like trying to project like your thoughts and feelings onto the what the government should do, and I think you should avoid that, right? You obviously have like certain feelings about bestiality, even when it's for food, right? So like bestiality happens every single day in animal agriculture. But according to you, we should ban it. Yet we shouldn't ban animal agriculture somehow. So it's like all totally fucking confused. But like, if it's for food, it's fine. Well, you're not willing to let people suck off bulls for food for increased protein. You think the government should ban that. So why? Because you have feelings about it all.
I mean, so the laws of society today are, I admit, are based off of what how our morality is, and like say slavery, for example.
How do you think?
Morally,
I'm not gonna. Sorry, like I love your stories, but I'm not here for stories. How do you think we reached that morality?
I mean, a lot of it is through. Oh, well, I can speak for the states and for Canada.
Banning, right? A
That is
lot of it through banning. For instance,
no,
yeah.
a lot of. Do you think because the South didn't the idea of discriminating against people of color and black people in the South that took a war and
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of
And
people
then
dying.
the government banned segregation, right?
Abolished.
Abolished. Oof.
But
Dirty
that
words.
took a social movement. That took a lot more than just the act of banning.
Yeah.
That was a
So do you
social
think
movement.
like you should be part of that social movement to like make a ban later on, or should you be like against it and say no, this total fucking animal holocaust that we're creating every single year, trillions of animals globally, we slaughter trillions of animals, a number that most people can't imagine. We should continue doing that because bans are bad, but bans are good back then, but bans are bad now? Or should we like start the social movement and you should be a part of it, and the ban should be like a future ban should also be a part of it? Like, I'm just like really trying to understand what's the difference between that moral decision that the ban and the social movement was totally okay and right? And by the way, the social movement was moving towards a ban that was like, I think, part of their agenda, right? The social movement. They wanted to ban segregation. So should you be part of the movement that wants moving towards the ban, or should you be like against it for like maybe someday something happens, maybe?
The issue is it is a case by case basis, because you could have social movements that advocate for communism, say, and literally hundreds of
We're
millions
talking
of people
about
die.
veganism.
I know, but the issue is
Then talk about veganism. Again, stories. Forgot my
okay.
account. You're giving us stories, and I just like you quite obviously cherry picking history, and so I'm sick of your stories. I just want straight up answers now, please.
Okay. Well, okay. The reason why, especially for veganism, the only reason why I say abolishment is a bad idea is because on the issue by issue basis is abolishment takes away the right of humans' ability to choose over their ability to say live.
Yeah.
Given
Do you think that's different in any kind of way from the social movement to abolish segregation?
no, because
there you go. So why are you trying to like say one is good and the other one is bad? One abolishment is good, the other abolishment is bad.
Because at the end of the day, segregation, like banning segregation, allowed for more freedom of people, of human beings, whether black, white. It allowed for freedom.
Well,
but
you are now
consumption
thinking
of
of the victim, right? The black people. You're thinking of them, right? But for some reason, you're not thinking of the trillions of animals as the victims. What about their freedom from being exploited, tortured, and slaughtered?
I mean, I agree that like the free market should allow them to be free, but not.
You still view them as objects. It's just like so clear to me.
I do. Only because like the government is capable of really messing up things. And it's unfortunate that we live in a world.
What does the government have to do with you viewing them as objects?
Because if I am banned from, say, buying knives, buying the tools and everything necessary to be able to feed my family,
forgot my account. I have one. Do you think if it was revealed to my kids' teachers that I feed them dirty river and pond water every day, do you think that Child Protective Services should get involved, or would that be my right to do that?
No, obviously CPS should be informed.
Oh, but in a survival situation, our water system might fail. So I might have to give my kids dirty water. So we probably shouldn't ban that, just in case.
Well, the issue is, and I'm so sorry for beating around the bush here too. It's just I'm really trying.
Yes or no. Should it be legal for me to feed my kids dirty water with Giardia in it and give them parasites?
Well, obviously it should be banned, but that's because you are like
I'm just
humans.
I'm just like equating the situations here. Like in case of like an apocalypse, like our filtered drinking water system is probably gonna fail. We're gonna have even bigger issues than that, and I'm gonna have to like go down to the Platte River in Denver and like get buckets, and hopefully I'll be able to boil it. Maybe I won't be able to.
But the issue is I'm advocating for.
We should probably lift that ban, right?
No, the issue is like I'm advocating for
Sorry,
not
can you answer the
banning
question?
the resources.
Can you answer the question? I'm getting tired. Forgot my account. Can you answer the question directly?
Should we lift the ban on me not being able to feed my children dirty drinking water from the river?
Obviously, we should keep that ban because
Why? That's
you were
abolition.
hurting. But
And
you're hurting.
the government might be corrupt, and we might have an extreme situation where we need to do that. So we should probably lift the ban.
I mean,
But
the
you're
government
hurting
is
the
going to be in
population.
control of the water. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
But here's the thing, the government.
Yeah, we're gonna like lose control of the water system. They'll like all of our water pipes are gonna be busted. We're not gonna have maintenance crews anymore.
But what
And
you're
like,
advocating for.
the water treatment plant isn't even gonna have power going to it anymore. We're gonna be fucked.
But what you're advocating for is the banning of allowing people to sanitize their own drinking water and
I didn't
banning
say
the
that.
ability.
I just said the ability to feed young children dirty drinking water.
Yeah, it's the act of banning them from being able to have resources. That's the issue.
I didn't say that.
No, he's saying that.
Well, because when you're in the instance.
Yeah, so hold on. So
You're-
what you're saying, the symmetry breaker between what you said and Joe's analogy is that in case of animal holocaust, it would be, sorry, I keep biting my fucking tongue. So in case of animal holocaust, it would be just banning the use of resources. But in case of Joe giving his kids dirty drinking water, it wouldn't be banning of resources somehow?
Well,
There's
I'm just saying because
resources down at the Platte River, and I'm paying this water bill here. It's like $80 a month. I could just go get free water down at the Platte, feed it to my kids, save money, free economy, free market, freedom.
Because the issue is
the government banning me from being able to like give my kids free water. It might have Giardia in it. It might not.
Well, the point is, like, I'm trying to put a situation in this world where your kids have the ability to have water and have the government not tell them what to do, or be able to have food, whatever form it comes in.
Yeah, then we should definitely ban. We should definitely put a ban.
Lift the ban.
Yeah, lift the ban on drinking water then.
Because unfiltered drinking water. Yeah.
Yeah, we should give the kids the ability to make the choice between clean government water and just like Denver River drinking, like peace water.
Well, kids gonna drink whatever the heck they want to drink.
No. I forgot my account. Don't do that. We're talking about morality here. We're talking about what we should do, right? And the analogy is perfect. And yet, in one case, you're saying, no, we shouldn't lift that ban. And in another case, you're saying, no, we shouldn't implement a ban on that, right? So the only thing that I see is that the water ban already happened. Right? Joe doesn't have the right to give his kids untreated water because that would make them sick. But the animal agriculture ban haven't happened yet, and you are standing on the sidelines and saying, no, we shouldn't ban this fucking atrocity.
But at the end of the day...
It's the same thing, though. It's the same thing.
It's not...
It's the government shouldn't interfere in how we acquire resources.
Okay, forgot my account. I wrote it down on the side just so it's extremely clear. So circumstance 1, you said it's acceptable to lift the ban on killing and eating dogs in case of emergency and or government corruption. Circumstance 2, you said it's not okay to lift the ban on feeding children untreated drinking water in the case of emergency and or government corruption.
Because under the basis of humans and like helping out humans, say you lift the ban on the water situation. At the end of the day, that law is for the benefit of humans. So having clean drinking water and giving people clean drinking water and consensually telling them, hey, this is clean, this is not river water, that is better for humans. Now, say if like you have the whole pasteurized, like the whole whatever, the raw milk people, it's disgusting. But they consent to drinking raw milk. So the reason why the ban is bad for you giving kids dirty water, the ban is good for you giving kids dirty water,
Wait,
is because
was the ban on
you
raw
are
milk
giving
good or bad?
the ban on raw milk. I think it's bad. Like
Okay, so we
ban
should
is
give
bad.
kids raw milk now?
No, it's disgusting. And there's tons of evidence to say, hey, you can actually die from this.
Sorry, do you
So
think
wait,
like the regular human being, right, has the ability to know everything about the world, to make decisions without the government interfering? Because I'm really like fucking not understanding. You're saying, no, raw milk is disgusting, we shouldn't give it to kids. But the ban on giving kids raw milk is bad and we should remove it. And we did, you did, guys. But when it comes to Denver drinking, like Denver peace water, you're saying, no, we shouldn't lift that ban, even though it's equally disgusting and dangerous to kids. So you just gibberating.
Because the act of giving somebody something poisonous and poisoning them, that's illegal. That's harmful.
That's raw milk.
So
I'm not sure why raw milk ban is bad, but drinking water, like sewer water ban, is good. So I don't see
because if you
the prevalence of disease or something. What is the difference between
but
those two?
say if you're a company and you sell raw
Sorry,
milk.
I'm so fucking sick of this. So say if. Can you answer the question?
Well, because companies that sell raw milk, say if they have an E. coli breakout, they have something that gets someone sick, they get sued for the left arm and
I
leg.
don't give a shit about the company. We're talking about human health here, right? Kid health. So the ban on raw milk is bad. The ban on sewer water given as drinking water is good. What's the symmetry breaker between those two? And I don't give a shit about the companies. If somebody starts like selling sewer water as like this healing power raw water, is that gonna be then we can lift the ban on raw water?
I wouldn't even
mean-
be surprised at this point if someone started a raw water drinking water company.
I agree. I do agree. But that's the one thing where it's like
you are. I'm gonna stop you right there. You are incredibly confused. You keep bringing stuff into the conversation that just don't belong there. You're not able to focus. You don't even recognize that you're saying two absolutely symmetrical things. But in one of them you say ban is bad. In the other one you say ban is good. Two absolutely almost fucking identical things. You don't even recognize that because you keep adding shit into it. You keep throwing stuff into it. Oh, all of a sudden the companies something.
the context for the water situation was you are giving your kids something that you know is poisonous and disgusting.
That's true.
That was the context.
It's true in case of raw milk as well. And some people believe that like raw water, like living water from the rivers, is better than the chlorinated water that the government gives us. So if they have that delusion, should we lift the ban on like drinking water as well, on river water?
I mean, you actually should lift the ban on drinking it, because at the end of the day,
You're crazy.
if you need to drink, you're thirsty, you should. But that does not mean.
Did you just change your mind? You
Yeah.
changed your mind because earlier you said that we should have a ban on that.
I did. You know what? Because say if
So let me just be clear. I go down to the river like today and I collect buckets of water and I feed them to my kids. You're fine with that?
Well, because if you get your kids sick, that's illegal.
Yeah,
And obviously,
you just
you punish
decided
for it.
to like have blood.
It wouldn't
on
be
your
illegal
hands
on your
today,
lights.
have you? You woke up, you decided I'm just gonna have some blood on my hands. Because raw milk
hello?
kills, right? As well. And you say that ban is bad.
Hold on a second. Sorry. Well, no. So it's the act of not what's it called, the negligence of not getting water tested, the negligence of not.
Wait, how do we test water?
You get it studied.
Yeah, you usually like how do you test water? Who tests water
You take a
for
sample
us?
of it.
Where do you get your water?
A lot. Well, I get mine at the like the main line, like municipal water.
Yeah.
But
So you
say
get your
well
waters
water.
from the government, right?
Who's testing that?
Yeah.
Well, the government. So
Yeah.
the government has that legal obligation to test their water.
Yeah.
But say you have well water, you have the legal obligation to test that water as well because you don't want to get sick and you don't want to get your kids sick. So at the end of the day, there's a legal obligation
Wait, should we have
for
like
everybody.
should we not have like government inspection on well water?
No, you should, because there's a legal obligation to inspect that. There should be a legal obligation
You're
to
just speaking
inspect.
gibberish. You just like
inspect.
1 second after the other, you're changing your mind all the time. You don't even know it that you're changing your mind.
No, I admit I am
Should
changing
we
my mind
have a
because
government inspection on well water, or should the people who wells do whatever the fuck they want?
no, you should have government inspections on it.
Okay.
But
So why
do they have to
don't
be
we
legal?
abolish animal agriculture?
Because
Can I just ask a quick question? Are you like a libertarian or something? I'm really confused here.
I don't know what I am. I'm just.
This reminds me of
Very
dude.
confused.
You'd remind me of like Sam Cedar debates from like 2015. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
At the end of the day, I just want people to be free, and I want obviously
Free to do
there
what?
are like free to be able to make their own choices, free to be able to obviously
Again,
in that
you're
freedom
just gonna have
comes
decided
responsibility.
to have like blood on your hands today because most people are fucking idiots.
I agree.
Should they be
and
free to drink and drive? That's a choice.
Yeah.
that is a choice. That is a choice.
Do you think
And
they should be able to not wear a seatbelt?
Yeah, should we lift the ban on putting my kid in a proper car seat? It's my choice.
the issue is because kids
It's so
don't
shitty that the
have-
government regulates it. I have to like buy these expensive car seats for my kid. It's fucking shitty.
but they don't have the ability to be informed. You have to be their source of information.
Well,
How the fuck
it's
is you gonna be informed if the government doesn't come in and say, listen, guys, the seatbelts just fucking saved lives? How the fuck is Joe gonna be informed?
Well, you can have campaigns. You can have the government doesn't have to ban, say, water.
So we should
For you to be able to
legalize
have a well.
not wearing seatbelts. We should legalize that.
we should just do campaigns for seatbelts and drinking and driving and car seats for kids and
Yeah, but it
How about
should be
Absolutely.
totally legal though. Totally 100% legal. Kids at the age
So,
of
like, I
16,
could ju-
they get like their license, right? They should be like down a couple of beers. Oh, we should like also legalize for kids to drink alcohol, by the way. Right, we shouldn't regulate that.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be illegal. Maybe 2-year-olds should have the right to vote.
Wait, is
By
your
the way,
stance
this-
that like everything should be legal and then, or like what's your stance?
No,
Are you
because that's
libertarian?
what. No, absolutely not. I take
What-
things on a case by case basis. So, okay, let's go for drinking and driving. Say if you drink and drive, the reason why that's illegal is because we've realized that as a society,
Mhm.
you don't just injure yourself; you injure the person that you hit. Wearing a seatbelt, you don't just injure you don't just injure yourself
Right, if
by
somebody's
flying out the
driving
window.
alone, they should be able to not wear a seatbelt.
I mean, they. I mean, I
You
don't.
under- so
I
you
don't
see
think about it. I mean, yeah.
in the vegan scenario, your choice to buy meat is harming someone else.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, your choice to not be able to hunt your own meat or like be able to have access to it
How about hunt
it's
my own
also
human? Should I be able to have the liberty to hunt humans for meat?
well, no, because they're humans, which
Well, what's the
comes
difference?
circles back.
We'll
There
just
is
go
no
back.
difference.
So there's no difference, but it should be illegal. That just seems like gibberish.
Yeah, it is.
Well, just because they're humanity and living in life is not black and white. That's the one thing. Like it.
Wait,
I
who's
don't know
gonna
what the moral
decide
trait is.
what we legalize and what we don't legalize? Who's gonna decide that? Like, sure the fuck hope it's not you.
Well,
Let
through
me just like
morality
break
and
this down.
discussion.
Let me just break this down for like a 5-year-old. It's like, should we legalize triangles? No. Should we legalize isosceles triangles? Yes. It's like, well, what's the difference? Well, they're both 3-sided. It's like, okay.
But
Or like,
that's why we have moral discussion. We have these conversations because I believe in speed limits. Obviously, you should have them, and I believe there are
Why?
laws that we do need to
wait,
have.
why? Germany doesn't have them.
So somebody should have the choice
Well-
to go 200 miles an hour.
and those people do, but they put themselves in a situation where they can injure other people.
Yeah, is that good?
So like,
Well, when you
No, of course that's not.
when you don't abolish animal agriculture or hunting, that includes hunting, by the way, it just harms somebody else. I know you see them as objects, but they are someone. They are like an individual in there. They want to live, right?
And-
That's why they're trying to run away. That's why, like, you can't just come up to a deer and stab a deer to death. They're gonna run away from you.
yeah, and I agree with that. But the issue is we can have
Why do
respect
you
for
want-
them being
Why
individuals.
do you want the human beings to have the right of choice to stab individuals or to shoot them in the head and the lungs? But you wouldn't like. Why would you like not defend the victims there? But defend
'Cause
like
I feel
somebody's
we all
personal
have-
choice to do that shit. You basically like
we-
propagating. You're basically saying, premeditated killing of somebody is totally okay, totally unnecessary. You could just have like a bunch of lentils under your bed, but you decide no, we should continue having legal institutional mass murder of individuals, just because people should have the choice. But when we give you in other cases, you say, no, that's going to hurt individuals. So we should keep that illegal, right? But you're not thinking of the animals. Why? Why aren't you thinking of the victims in case of animal agriculture? But you're thinking of the victims in case of speed limits.
Well, because this very conversation shows that you've brought up good points. It is way better to be able to have your own lentils, have your own dried food, have all that stuff, which we have. That is way better of a solution. But banning the opportunity for somebody else to have their own views and personalities without giving them no.
See the fucking symmetry breaker, and I don't understand why you do. But then you state the exact same thing. Well, you should have the choice to to hurt somebody in case of these animals, but you shouldn't be able to hurt somebody in case of driving 200 miles an hour. Like, you're saying the same things. It's the same picture. And I don't understand how you don't see it.
Well, because the main victim is humans. They take the priority over all other
but you
victims.
said
If
there's
you
no
want
morally
to look
relevant difference between a human and an animal.
Can I try something post-mortem that I was telling you yesterday?
Please.
I tried it today and I think it worked. So you don't want to be harmed, correct?
Correct.
You don't want to be killed, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's not because you're human. That's because you're sentient. That's a property of sentience. It comes with sentience. So
yes.
That means that every other sentient being wants the same. So all animals that are sentient want the same thing, as you do. why should we respect it for you because you're of the species human, but we should not respect it for anybody else who's of a different species? If they all want this, have the same will like you do, why should we treat it differently just because they're born into a different species?
Because I, as a human, am capable of thought, whether it's religious thought, whether it's studying, whether it's of an economic purpose for you. And I am a person of God. You are a person of God, even if you don't believe it. And at the end of the day, we have the
Yet you
capability
didn't allow
to
us
be
to
able to.
wait. Yet you didn't allow us to kill Kimi, who is not none of those things. And we
Because at
have
the end of the
no
day,
we have no reason to think that in 10 or 20 years that's going to change.
but the beauty of life is the hope that she would be able to.
The beauty
It's-
of life
you
is
think-
the hope that dogs will be able to.
But you see the whole thing that I was saying, forgot my account, is that I don't think like it's coming from your sentience. It means that the most important part of your existence is the sentience. It's not your intelligence. Like, do you think your value would be like you should have almost no value, or somebody should be allowed to kill you if you didn't have the capability of thought, or the capability of studying, or the capability of a religious thought, or whatever economic purpose in a society, right? Like, if you didn't have any of these, should somebody just be allowed to kill you because you don't have any of these? You would still be born human, essentially, but should somebody just have the right to do that to you because you don't present these?
well, someone in that instance, they say they don't have that, but inherent in their DNA as like individual, they do. I don't know what the future holds, but for the fact of them
There's people who are
human-
born. There's people who are born with hydroencephaly who can never develop this. There's people who have certain issues that they can never, no matter how much you hope, no matter how much you pray or whatever you do, they'll never develop this. Do those people not deserve the same consideration that we don't take away their experience of life simply because we can?
well, obviously you should keep their experience of life, and that's the thing. Like, because there is no inherent trait, that's the issue. Like, I can't say like, hey, this specific thing is why it's important for like why she should live and an animal should die. I agree. Animals, they shouldn't. Like, it's one of those things where it's a living organism. It's made by God, and we in Genesis it says, "Oh, we have dominion over them." But just because you have dominion over something does not mean that you should kill it. You should do any of that stuff. You should treat it with respect.
Then why do you support it?
Because in the instance where we are, where like all we've been dealt a bad hand, it's better to give people the freedom to live for themselves than
No,
have
we have to give.
a government.
Here's the
We're on
thing:
loop.
it's better
We're on
to
loop
give.
here.
It's better
I
to
know.
give people freedom to kill each other as well to survive. So let's legalize murder now.
But the issue is that human is also capable of life, and I wish I
So
could
is an
describe what the
animal.
trait was, and I'm so sorry.
Hey,
Yeah, but
so
like,
let's just do something else. Since we're going on loop here, so it seems
I
like the
kinda
trait is
have
just
to
like
go soon,
human.
So
Is like human for you.
yeah,
Do you believe
Yeah.
it's like physically and logically possible that aliens exist?
yeah, it is absolutely possible.
Yeah. So like, let's just imagine like ET, like the race of ET, just like comes and visits Earth tomorrow. It's like a huge, groundbreaking thing. They're interstellar travel. Can we farm them and eat them, or like lift that ban? I guess there's no ban on it right now, but just like enslave all of them and then factory farm them, just in the case of in case the government is corrupt and or apocalypse. Should we be able
Well,
to reform ET?
say, can I reverse that? Say there's a superior species to us,
No. Just
Because-
let's just answer that one first. Can we factory farm ET?
Okay. No. Well, I don't know what their circumstance of life is. Say
They're just as smart as
they.
that. Just look like ET. They're capable
then
of
I was
picking
gonna-
things. They're capable of picking things up, creating society, and even interstellar travel.
Then they're brilliant. Then they are able to assist humans, and we shouldn't farm them.
So it's not human. So what is the trait then?
Yeah.
Well, but it benefits humanity at the end of the day. So it's not, they're not human, but it benefits
Right, but animal
humanity.
agriculture is detriment to humanity.
It is.
And
Absolutely
yet you
it
don't
is.
want to ban it.
I agree.
Make it make sense. God fucking damn it.
Just because something is detrimental doesn't mean that you should ban it. On
You're
the
a
instance
pure
of like
generator.
morally,
You literally just say no, we shouldn't kill aliens because they're gonna be a benefit to humanity. It's gonna be a benefit to humanity to have a vegan world, and yet you say no, let's not do that.
It would definitely be a benefit if we enslaved ET, or if we enslaved other humans like who are intellectually challenged. It would be a benefit because we could make them do stuff for free. Our economy would be better. Should we do that?
but at the end of the day, like because here's the issue. Say we enslave disabled people, people that don't. This is Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. The fact is that because you enslave people who are not intellectually capable, you put them in a situation where you don't put in resources to be able to help assist in their intellectual abilities. You don't provide them with the equipment, with the things that are a necessity to be able to improve their situation of life. And at the end of the day, for humanity, that makes humanity way worse off because it's just like how.
What if it didn't? What if we just had a good calculation that it made humanity great to enslave them? Would that be okay?
I mean, but that makes. But like that wouldn't make any sense because like at the end of the day, humans have that capability inherent in them.
What?
Just because like
But
they
you see-
intellectually.
Not Kimmy.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
thing
no.
about it, that you put this whole idea of a human on a pedestal, but a human is just something that's not ingrained into certain boundaries, right? Like, or is it to you? Like, I'm trying to understand. To you, is a human just somebody who's a member of the Homo sapiens, or is a human defined by the capabilities that they can do? Because it's just like, which one of these is morally relevant enough that you shouldn't do it to them, but if they're different, that you should do it to somebody else? Because if it's about capabilities, then you become an ableist, and if it's about them belonging to a certain species, then you're the same as any other type of discrimination based on categories that individuals belong to. Take, for instance, you're American, I assume. That's a category you belong to. And if I had power over you, I could say the same. We protect our kind, we protect the Dutch, so it would be okay to enslave and kill Americans, right? So, I don't know, I don't know why you're so tied to this human idea when, as we established, the qualities that you appreciate are coming from sentience, and thus you should appreciate them also in other individuals who have these qualities.
But the issue is like you put it into like categories. But the issue is like the human race. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a category, but it's a generic thing. Like, okay, I cannot agree with Palestine. Like the people, if you throwing gay people off roofs, morally, we can't agree. They're human. They obviously need to, you know, like in an instance where if you're throwing gay people off buildings and you have no respect for anybody else except your own kind, then it gets kinetic. Like that's when wars
You're
happen.
just describing
But
yourself towards animals. You are.
but the thing is,
You
the
only
act of
have respect
say-
for your own kind, and the rest, fuck them. Even if it's a detriment to humanity, you go fuck them.
well, I say fuck them because at the end of the day, they want to take my life, and I don't want to take their life, but the act of their morality.
Wait, you think
wants
chickens
to
want
take
to take your life?
No, a chicken is different than humans, but the whole like idea of
Sorry, when you were
culture
describing Palestinians, you said they don't have respect for anybody but their own kind. You are describing yourself in your actions towards animals and your convictions towards animals. Do you see how?
well, because like at the end of the day, they view the world as a certain way, and it affects
and
my life. It
you view
affects
the world as a
humanity in a
certain
whole.
way where we should continue to enslave and exploit and slaughter trillions of animals a year just because something happens one day, maybe.
That's not what I said.
That's literally what you said.
We shouldn't, but we should have the
Wait,
freedom
should we-
to,
yeah,
but we shouldn't because we have more
Sorry,
agency.
should we abolish animal agriculture, yes or no?
No,
Then you literally said
Why
that.
not?
no.
Yeah. So can let me try a different experiment with you. Maybe you understand it this way. So if there's two boxes in front of you, and you don't know, you just know that there's two sentient beings in front of in those boxes, right? In each box there's a sentient being, and you can choose to exploit and slaughter any one from those sentient beings, but you would have to choose before you open the box to know what species they are. You can ask about the characteristics that they have, about which traits they have, and there's a machine that will answer your traits. How do you go about which one to exploit and slaughter, or do you even exploit and slaughter any of them?
Well, that's the thing, because you put it in a hypothetical where I don't know. I can't kill. Like I can't open up a box because say if you
I'm
put me in
trying
a
to
situ-
remove your bias. You're clearly biased towards your own species. I'm trying to remove your own bias so that you
How
can
can
think
he be-
without your bias.
Wait, how can he be biased towards his own species when we're saying it's a detriment to humanity and he says, no, fuck it.
Also that, yeah.
It's just like
I guess you're
incredible,
biased towards
just
your own
like
preference.
fucking gobbledygook. Forgot my account. Your position changes every 5 seconds, basically, and you
how
don't
is a
even
bias a
recognize it.
detriment? But like, how is it a detriment to the human species? Like my bias,
Yeah,
just because
Animal
say,
I'll show
agriculture
you.
is bad for the animal agriculture is terrible for everybody, for the whole human species. That's something undeniably true. And you consuming animal products will most of the time, like it's a slow chance that you'll get a
Yeah,
good
let me
benefit
just
out of
show
it. But
them.
VPM will show you.
Yeah. There you go. Forgot my account. There are 9 points here in a way. Fuck. That it's a detriment to humanity. I guess it's not willing to go there. Okay. So one of them is waste of tax money. So most countries subsidize agriculture, and most of those subsidies go to either animal agriculture or the feed towards animal agriculture. So towards animal agriculture, right? So it's a huge drain on tax money that you pay to basically to solve a bunch of shit for human beings, right? Like education, medical care, humanitarian support for starving countries like Africa, right? You pay so much of your taxes goes towards the moguls in the beef industry, where your kids could have actually good education with that money, but it goes to produce beef instead, right? And other animal products. Another one is waste of other resources. So animal agriculture obviously wastes calories. So 43% of cropland is allocated to grow animal feed. And then they also take the rest of the crops that we grow, like all the things, like the leftovers, they also feed to animals. So that takes a lot of resources to cut that forage down, right? So the things that they grow, soy, corn, wheat, alfalfa, and other crops, that we could actually feed to human beings, right? But Africa is starving. And animal feed is also very heavily supplemented. So they add minerals and vitamins and like antibiotics and other stuff, the growth hormones into feed. All of that, all of those resources, we could fix healthcare in the US. We could just like give everybody supplements so that they are never deficient, but instead we take 10 times more vitamins and minerals and give them to cattle, to chickens, to pigs, right? There's just like a huge drain on the resources. We produce resources to feed into this one incredibly wasteful resource, right? Third one is reduction in biodiversity. So it is the case that right now in humans and the animals we grow for food are like 98% of biomass right now. So we wipe out entire habitats just to have animal agriculture, right? Like for instance, like we kill wolves in order to so that they don't predate on the livestock that we predate on. We kill badgers because they are blamed for spreading bovine tuberculosis in UK, right? We kill, like for crop production, we kill a huge amount of animals, which is driven by the animal agriculture to grow feed. And all of that happens while clearing more and more land, more and more habitats, wiping out entire species of animals. I know you don't care about that, but a lot of other human beings care about biodiversity, right? So climate change, it's one of the biggest drivers of climate change, animal agriculture. Like if we all went vegan, if the entire world went vegan, we could reforest 75% of the land that is allocated to animal agriculture. And that shit is like, I don't know, like billions of, like, I think 10 billion hectares, something like that. We could also reduce by 75% the greenhouse gas emissions, which are like 25% of like our personal use. So you personally could reduce like each person could reduce 25% of greenhouse gas emissions just by going vegan. If we done that like worldwide, we could prevent climate change that is happening right now. Another one is leather production, specifically because it causes local destruction, great local destruction. Like what happens in India, there is an area called Kanpur. They can't even grow food in the ground anymore. Obviously not animals either, because the entire area is taken out by the chemicals that need to be used to tan leather. It also uses like something crazy, like 20% of the entire global water, right? So leather is one of the most detrimental things on planet Earth. 6 is that animal agriculture or animal foods specifically are the leading causes of human death, right? Processed meat is type 1 carcinogen. You have saturated fat and cholesterol. Saturated fat is to the much greater degree in animal products. Cholesterol only exists in animal products, and that is increases the risk of heart disease. It's easier to overconsume on that diet that has animal foods in it. The red meat itself is like increases the risk of diabetes, and those are the biggest diseases on planet Earth right now. Those are the killers. Those are the 3 killers, right? So then animal testing. So because we test on animals, it is actually like, and we have evidence for it, that because we test on animals, we almost don't, like it could be that we could have had treatment for cancer, but we don't, because we tested it on an animal and it was detrimental to the animal, and it could have been that it wouldn't be detrimental to a human being, and we could have invented the cure for cancer, but we don't, because we keep testing on animals. So, for instance, one of the biggest examples is aspirin, which almost everybody over the age of 55 or 60 takes. It's a blood thinner, right? We almost didn't have that drug because it killed the animals that it was tested on, and it was just like a fluke that they revived the testing on that drug and tested it on humans instead. Otherwise, so many more people would actually die without it. So can you imagine how many drugs we just left behind because it killed the mice or the primates, right? Where they would not have that detriment on human beings and they could cure a bunch of stuff, right? So we should move away from animal testing. It's a detriment to human flourishing. Zoonotic diseases is like the worst diseases also, right? The flu, AIDS, COVID, tuberculosis, all of those exist because of because of humanity dealing with huge amounts of animals in vast populations, right? It's you can't deny that zoonotic diseases killed trillions of like maybe not trillions, but like millions or billions of human beings throughout the history, right? And then the final point, I think it's a big one, and I think you're suffering from it, is the mental detriment. Because when we don't like a group of people, we dehumanize them, which includes downgrading them to animal status and treating them accordingly. Animal practices were used in the Holocaust, for instance, right, for Jews, Romanos, LGBTQ in 1945. And we used to call them Schweizer, pigs. And today we also gas pigs to death. So those are interlinked. Dehumanization is the same property, the same thing that we do to animals, only in case of animals, it's objectification or de-animalization, right? So as long as we have this mindset that it's totally okay to exploit and slaughter those sentient beings, we're going to continue hating each other as well. It's the same mechanism.
But so I agree. I 100% agree. And that's why I'm working my butt off to go plant-based. But my thing is, why does banning something, abolishment of something, have to change a person's viewpoint compared to a morality of this idea? Like, you completely perfect. The whole reason why I want to go vegan is because of conversations like this. And I know it's frustrating because I listen to every debate that you guys have, and it's frustrating because some people say some really dumb things, and you're like, come on. There's so much research that comes to it. But the whole reason why I would like to be vegan, well, at least plant-based, because I don't know, morally, we had this conversation already. But the whole reason why that is because I have the freedom to actually be able to have this conversation. But my issue is when you allow government to be able to be,
Bro, you just
hey,
deliberating
this
at
is
this
banned.
point. I have to go, but like you can continue. Chip is also recording. See you.
Yeah, I'm recording, but I also have to go soon. It just I just fail to see what exactly makes sense out of what you're saying out of this. So you acknowledge that it's bad. Okay, we can check that. You acknowledge that it's bad for both animals and humans. You acknowledge that we probably shouldn't be doing it, but you still want people to have the freedom to do it. And it is an injustice towards certain sentient individuals. So if we take the same logic as to drinking and driving, as Joe put up, why exactly do you have a different opinion there? Because that just means you're logically inconsistent in your own view. They're both the same. Drinking and driving is bad for society. Drinking and driving is potentially bad for others. Like it can lead to injustice to others. So why exactly are you for the idea of government forbidding drinking and driving, but you're okay with government allowing for something that's extremely detrimental to everybody else? Yeah, go on.
So the act of having a road beer, I've never done it. I'm never going to. But the act of having one is, I could see why, like, it's understandable that shouldn't be banned. Now,
Why? Wait, which
for
one is
alcoholic-
understandable to be banned?
no, to not be banned, drinking and driving. Like the
So-
act of actually drinking and driving.
Should it be
But
banned?
the issue, it shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be?
Wait,
Should not be. Yes.
drinking and driving should not be banned.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is, I'm making this point from a historical context because if you've ever seen in the 80s they banned drinking and driving.
Right now,
funniest
what are you
videos.
talking about?
No, like when the actual like the laws passed, it's hilarious videos. But when they banned it, like the act of having one beer and being perfectly sober, that is, what, I could see the argument for
Well,
why.
that's legal. If you're under 0.06 or 0.08, whatever it is in your jurisdiction, it's fine.
Well, having a beer physically in your hand while driving though isn't.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that, but
like being under 0.06 and whatnot. So okay, if we're
I can
discussing
actually.
that.
Well, I'm actually a transportation engineer, so I know a thing or two about this, but and I actually have looked into like the inebriation things. I think having it in your hand would actually be bad because like when it first hits your system, you could like have detrimental effects or like not be able to concentrate as well.
Oh, okay. Well, and is that with a side point? Is that with like all?
Well, I mean,
forms
just
of
anecdotally, like you have you ever had alcohol before?
I have.
Yeah, like when you
Yeah.
first take that like first sip, you really feel it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then your body digests it, and then it like the effects start wearing off. So like if
Yeah.
I
Okay.
could see an argument for like having the either way. Besides the point, I think it's kind of like just to go back. Like you think we should lift the ban on drinking and driving.
I mean, so having alcohol limits. Well, I didn't know like that point that you addressed, and that's where further education comes into play, not banning it. But
No, come on, man. Like, I feel like, I'm sorry for interrupting you there. It's just like you're just trying to like you're just trying to beg the question. That's what you're doing right now. Every single scenario we give to you, you are trying to make it so that you are not put in a place where you would have to admit that we should probably ban animal agriculture. It's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to say we should ban animal agriculture. At the end of the day, the way we make laws is we say, is this beneficial to us? Does everybody want to do it? Should we stop it then? And when most people don't want to do it, when most people are under agreement that they don't want to do it, and when we know that it's detrimental to us or when it's detrimental to others, we say stop it, because we make laws to protect everyone. So yeah, we should probably ban animal agriculture for all those reasons. It's not, but you keep saying it should be free to do it. Why should you be free to hunt humans? Should you be free to like, I don't know, like obviously when it comes to exceptions, right? Like when the people crashed in the Andes and they cannibalized each other for eating them, none of them are going to go to jail for that. None of them are going to be punished for that. But so in a situation where you absolutely need it, nobody's going to be like, oh, how dare you or something, right? But we're talking about, we live in a world where we don't need to do any of this. We're talking about enslaving sentient beings, killing them, treating them like objects, something that none of us would want to go through even for a single day. So why on earth would we want to keep this when we don't benefit, they don't benefit, and it's all just such a shit show?
Because so the very issue is that, okay, I compare it to say the UK right now, where you cannot have knives in your possession, you cannot have resources because the government said, oh, okay, this is what they deem as safety. And the issue is once you ban, say, hunting, or you ban, basically anything, you lose the resources to be able to have it, and you also lose the knowledge.
You shouldn't build a habit. You shouldn't build a habit. You shouldn't have the knowledge how to exploit and slaughter sentient beings. That's not something we should know. And if we did have to know that, we could always put it in a book, put it in a in a place where we keep it. We have, encyclopedias. We have stuff that we've documented about how people were doing stuff, rituals and stuff. We shouldn't continue rituals because we might forget how we did those rituals. So why should we continue doing this because we might forget how to do this?
And we also have the
wait a
government
minute.
invoked
Why
there.
would you forget? Why would you think we forget how to hunt? The whole point of a hunt is to kill. In fact, you know what could happen? This whole thing is actually could be in favor of hunting even more optimally, because if we do happen to forget how we used to hunt, it may happen that we come up with an even better method when we need to, and it's even beneficial to us rather than sticking to some old stuff that we always did. So keeping these things that we always done doesn't make sense anyway. But at the end of the day, we speak about animals and their rights, and you seem to completely neglect them from the equation. You seem to completely disregard their interest to live, their sentience, and strictly because they're different from you. They're a different part of a different group. How is that fair, man?
I mean, just because I compare them to if I have a daughter, if I have my wife, I compare them to in the instance where if I'm in a situation where they're hungry, I want to be able to help them out, keep them clothed, keep them
Go to the
fed, keep them
supermarket.
But this is in an instance, say if I live out in the boonies somewhere and I don't have access to those resources, how am I going to do that? I am blessed
Where
to
do
be
you
in
live?
the situation that I'm in right now.
Where if you live?
I live in Buffalo.
No, but where if you live?
I live in
where?
Buffalo.
But you're
say if
in
you
your
live-
hypothetical scenario, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, this will just go back to the water thing. Should we lift the ban on feeding my kids dirty drinking water?
Yeah, what
Just in case of the scenario where...
Yeah, we have water, electricity, internet. We have so many things that we rely on today. To claim that, but what if we don't have access to these? If we don't have access to these, we adapt. The one thing that makes us really good human, the one thing that we as a species makes us powerful is not our intelligence, but our capability to adapt. It's our adaptation skills that made us who we are today. So I don't see why we wouldn't be able to adapt to such a situation. And also, I yet to see why such a situation would happen even in your lifetime. So why would that be a problem for you specifically?
Well, I don't know if you were here when I first brought up the point of my grandmother, when she was younger, because she lived very about 1930s, poor farm kid. They had to kill literal kittens because they couldn't afford the food to feed them and whatnot.
But that's not the
stuff.
situation
So they had
today.
to live up there. It's not the situation today, but that is a situation in places like North Korea, in places like, heck, even Cuba.
And if that situation comes, nobody here would judge you for doing that. But if you're not in that situation, well, the government might, if you're in a place where North Korea, the government might forbid you from doing anything else anyway. So I don't see what the 100%. Point is. What even North is the Korea, debate here? Is but the government will forbid me from hunting. Okay, well, if the government forbids you from hunting, then you probably will die if you're in a North Korea situation anyway. If you don't have access to food and they forbid you from farming or hunting, you end up in I don't understand. It seems like you really want this one scenario so that you make your point to be valid, but you live in a world where you don't need to do it.
To this day, I don't live in a world where I don't have to worry about it. But North Korea wasn't made. North Korea lives in the 21st century. North Koreans are alive today, and they got that way because they allowed the government to ban one thing. And then
no, that's not true. First of all, this is the slippery slope fallacy. This is called literally the slippery slope fallacy. It's like you saying if we ban farming of animals, it will be a slippery slope towards totalitarianism. It won't. Totalitarianism will happen in US because you voted for Trump, if you voted for Trump, because he's an asshole, but not because of a government banning something. It has nothing to do. Governments will ban. Governments will not, FYI, governments in North Korea don't ban things to keep people poor or sad. They ban things to keep staying in power.
But here's the thing, like you say, here's like saying, "Oh, my political party is better than yours." Who's the one to say that you're not the one voting? No, I'm just saying, like, you criticize Trump, but
yeah, because Trump is a totalitarian. Trump is a totalitarian. But it's not about his political party. I couldn't care less. He's just a totalitarian. We know that.
But who are you to say that? When
he said he'd vote, he said he's gonna be. He said he's gonna be president in 2028 again. That's literally totalitarianism. He is going against the whole principle of democracy, where he cannot be voted again a third time. So he wants to be in power for more than he's allowed to. That's totalitarianism. He's a totalitarian.
My issue isn't what the people are saying. My issue is the very laws that take people to go from living in America today to living in North Korea, to living in Cuba. It's the very policies that make put people in bad situations. That's it. That's not. Sorry.
But we already have laws on the books that protect animals from certain forms of exploitation and cruelty, like kicking an animal like a dog or a cat or a cow or a pig. You're not technically allowed to kick an animal if they're just minding their own business and whatnot, not hurting anybody.
You weren't here earlier. He thinks we should lift all those bans.
So so just no laws at all? Is he an anarchist?
He thinks we shouldn't have drinking and driving laws, and also that we should lift the ban on eating dogs.
I forgot what's the goal with this discussion?
Well, hold on. Let me ask him real quick. Like, are you saying it should be legal to kick an animal?
No, it shouldn't be. Obviously, it shouldn't be legal to abuse animals because that's obviously that's dumb.
So animal agriculture should be illegal then because it abuses animals.
Yeah, there's that. And also, like, what we're saying is if you think it's wrong to kick an animal, isn't it worse to cut their head off? Like, I'd rather be kicked than killed. Because if you get kicked, you're going to have a bruise, and that sucks, and it's oppression and all, but you'll get over it, But if you get killed, even if it's a quick and painless death with no pain and no fear, then you still have everything taken away from you. That's straight murder, right? That's why murder is such a worse penalty than kicking somebody. So if you're against kicking an animal, you should be even more against killing them.
So I just want to say what my thought process is for this. So when it comes to, say, eating an animal, look at, like, say, South America, poor countries in South America. They have wild animals roaming. Obviously, poverty rate is a lot. Like, there's more people impoverished there.
I feel like you're not interacting with what I said, though, bro.
No, it gets there. So, say if I was in a situation where I was really hungry.
You're not in that fucking situation, man.
Not right now.
You're in Buffalo, New York.
I know. I'm not in that situation right now.
Dude, like, seriously, are you like are you like really?
Hold on. I don't want him to dodge this question, man. If it's wrong to kick an animal, isn't it worse to kill them?
No, it's not.
Explain yourself.
Because the only reason why I'd kill an animal, especially a dog, is because I have literally no other choice, and I need food.
No, you're killing those other animals for pleasure. You're killing cows and pigs and chickens for fucking pleasure.
I'm working to become plant-based. I don't like that. It's not for pleasure. I don't like it.
These fucking excuses. Don't be an excusitarian.
Well, the only reason I want to make it is
just stand up.
It's because I'm not an authoritarian. That's the reason why.
Bullshit, you are, because you're trying to prevent people from kicking animals. You support laws. No, buddy, you support a law that bans people from kicking animals. How dare you?
Yes.
You fucking totalitarian.
But that's because there are laws for, like, to create society and make society function. Abusing animals, not cool. Dog fighting, not cool, because you're abusing animals and they are sentient. We both agree they are sentient.
If we had, like, dogs in our basement, we kick them every night. How would society not function if we just did that for fun?
Well, because
What do you mean?
you are. It's like kicking a pig, or it's like kicking. Because at the end of the day,
The pigs
There's
you
like
would get.
medication.
Hold on. Which would you rather have done to you? Would you rather be kicked one time or killed painlessly and quickly? Kicked or killed? Which would you want for yourself?
I mean, obviously, I'd rather be kicked.
You'd rather
Obviously.
be kicked because which is worse? To be killed, right? So if it's wrong to kick an animal, which you're against kicking them, you ought to be against killing them. You're being inconsistent.
Well, the only reason why I'm not against killing them is because the only time I'm going to kill them is because I have no other choice. That's the only
Bullshit.
reason why.
You live in Buffalo, New York, and yet you're not vegan. Not cool, man.
I am working on it. I got all the supplies. I am working on it. I apologize for
Okay, well, quit
not.
making an excuse. I don't want to hear another excuse out your mouth then.
The only reason why is because, yeah, I live in Buffalo, New York. This is the day of our Lord, 2025. But say if it becomes totalitarian, it could be like North Korea. Nothing stops a
Dude,
state from being like any other.
okay, well, let me
shithole,
give you
pardon my
another.
French.
Let me show you another law that we enacted to protect animals that has not led to a totalitarian state, and this is the ban on fur sales in California. All right, so it started in a small area of West Hollywood, and they passed it. Just some animal lovers on the city council, you know, and then it went to Berkeley, California, another small progressive city. They passed it, and then it went to San Francisco, a big metropolitan city with fur sales all over the place at luxury retail stores and whatnot. And they banned it anyways because there's just a bunch of people who are against animal cruelty and know that wearing somebody's skin just for fashion statement is needless animal cruelty. And then they did the same thing in Los Angeles and then the whole state. We took it to the governor and he passed it. And so it's illegal to sell new fur in California. And that has not led to California becoming like a North Korea type situation. And what I would argue is that if we're against killing an animal, like a lot of meat eaters, like yourself maybe, are against fur. I don't know where you stand on that, but a lot of meat eaters are against fur because they realize it's needless animal cruelty committed simply for selfish pleasure, the pleasure of vanity of wearing somebody else's skin. But the same thing is applied to meat and dairy and eggs if you just think about it for more than 1 second or less than 1 second, because it's like, dude, we're again taking their heads off for the pleasure of the taste bud. Not cool.
Yeah,
And
and
like,
FYI, all these laws are anti-oppression. You can't say that if we make laws anti-oppression, we will slip into oppression. It does not make sense logically. All of these laws are anti-oppression. They're not for
what
oppression.
what's your definition of oppression?
Cruel and unjust
That's
prolonged cruel and unjust treatment. That's the definition of oppression. It's not my definition of oppression.
that is straight out of the communist. Well, the definition, no, but the oppression statement is straight out of Communist Manifesto. It's one of those things where, yeah, your version of what oppression might be
Oh,
can be very different.
no. This is oppressive. This isn't like a debate whether it's oppressive or not. It's oppression. You can't not consider it if you don't consider it oppression, then you wouldn't consider enslaving, exploiting, slaughtering sentient beings as oppression. Really? You really have a
All,
problem with the banning of violence, of exploitation, of abuse? And you think that that would
um,
lead somehow to more oppression by banning all of these methods of oppression?
it has. It literally has. But
No, it
how?
has not. North Korea has not reached North Korea because they banned animal agriculture. Animal agriculture still happens in North Korea. What the hell are you saying, man? Like this
Well,
is so
they
much nonsense. You're applying a slippery slope fallacy, which does not even make sense. Like it's not even a logical slippery slope fallacy. It's well, no slippery slope fallacy is logical, but like it doesn't even make a little bit of sense. Essentially, you're saying if the government bans something, then we're going to be a totalitarian regime. But I'm pretty sure you're okay with the government banning cigarette selling for children or banning adults having sex with children. And all of these actually inhibit rights of human beings. So I don't think, and those would be, if you would be saying, well, that's a slippery slope, we could lead to North Korea. at least it would have some form of merit because you're violating rights of humans or something. You're restricting them from something. But we're strictly talking about, again, anti-oppression, anti-violence laws here.
But like raping a kid is
Not
different
raping.
because
I said having sexual intercourse, not raping them.
they're a kid; they can't consent. And
They
animals,
cannot
they
give
can't consent either.
informed consent. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though,
But
like
we do that also in animal agriculture, by the way, right? We actually
I know. That's why
animal agriculture depends on sexual exploitation. So why do you want that to continue?
I don't want it to continue in the moral sense. I want it to be, obviously, I want the free market to make it go out. But I don't want the government to be able to say, hey, this is what you can or can't do in relation to feeding your very own family. Yes, okay, you say North Korea doesn't allow their kids to, North Korea doesn't ban animal farming, but they ban being able to eat the very food, including animals, that you grow.
That's not
So
true. That's not true. That's only reserved to certain situations and certain cases. Every region has their own rules and laws. It's not the same as you make it out to be. Okay, I'm not the one here to defend North Korea. North Korea is a shithole with a totalitarian regime. But there are several people in North Korea who farm and eat their food. It's not that the government takes all of it. You understand that that form of control cannot possibly happen. They cannot control all that. They do have forms of control, and there are a lot of farming where they're not allowed to eat it. But do you think that under capitalism, any form of farming, anybody who's farming, who works on a farm, they're allowed to just take products home? They're not without the authorization of a manager or whatever. It's not like farm like I just fail to see what your point is. It's like, oh well, if I want to farm on my own, well, if you want to farm on your own and the government is forbidding you from farming on your own, just go outside of the government, go outside, go to a country where they don't, go to an island or whatever, and start farming if that's your issue. But I don't see why we shouldn't, in a society where we claim we love animals, in a society where we claim we love we're anti-oppression, why we should all of a sudden be for it. And not even that, but we've made all this progress to make laws against it, and you say we should even reverse those laws and allow people to be oppressive towards other animals simply because what if the government becomes North Korea? Well, in that situation, then you should pretty much be a libertarian because that's your only other case. Otherwise, essentially, you don't. None of what you're saying makes sense. It's just cherry picking. Oh, this law will lead to North Korea. This won't. This law will lead to what the hell does that even mean, right? It's nothing.
the whole reason why being an anarcho-capitalist is a dumb idea. Take, for example, speed zones. A road that could be only designed to go 30 because there's kids going, there's people crossing. But if I'm like, oh, laws don't apply, I'm going to go 150, you're going to hurt someone. So rules and regulations are an important thing on a case-by-case basis. So, for example, abusing animals, is there any moral significant difference? No, and I can't tell you that there is. But when it comes to food, obviously you shouldn't beat them, you shouldn't abuse them, because that's just not cool. But when it comes to food, you should still be able to eat them.
Nah, man. You're still victimizing a conscious individual who doesn't want to be treated like that. They're like little kids, animals, you know? They're not as strong as us, they're not as smart as us, and it's an abuse of power for you to go and be violent towards them if you don't have to.
Well, so I don't know if you heard this part of the conversation too, but
well,
my instance, I don't like animal farming. It's one of those things where, like, on an industrial scale, I don't believe in it. My main application is, like, say you have a cow or whatnot and it's free roaming. I'm not familiar with that process.
But hold on, just because you turn the animal into shit, literal shit, does not make the violence okay. Just because you turn them in, just because you eat them, does not absolve you of your responsibility.
I do agree. But that's the thing. Like, I would rather be morally incorrect, but have the freedom so that not only I can live, my kids can live, but the person that I don't even know and will never know can also live because in the scenario that I'm saying, which is a reasonable scenario. This isn't some desert island. This is North Korea, Cuba. To this very day, this is the result of government interactions that make laws that prohibit people from being able to live their life in the most basic human way of just being able to eat. This is the only.
but you,
This is the only
like
reason
Chip
why.
was saying earlier, though, you'll be able to figure it out later on. Like, you don't need to continually torture and hunt animals in order to learn how to torture and hunt them later. Like, you'll be fine, especially since you already have that knowledge. You know what I mean? You don't need to perpetually do it under some suspicion. Really, it's a paranoia. You're using paranoia to justify needless violence.
When does paranoia become reality though? Like, there's always liberty is one generation away from tyranny, as Ronald Reagan says. It's like my issue is that, yeah, sure, okay, I'm blessed to live in this nation, but who's to stop say we have a vegan president in Congress and they're like, hey, let's do book burnings of all this educational material.
Oh,
Let's
Jesus Christ.
completely
How is
blacklist
that
it.
related? We could have a president that's non-vegan like we do with Donald Trump and saying that let's book or ban books. Come on,
They
man.
can't,
Stop it with this
but
Yeah,
nonsense. It means nothing.
we're not even talking about banning books or burning books. We're talking about banning
Jesus.
slaughterhouses. Like, let's get rid of the slaughterhouse and the animal farms. Yeah.
but that's animal farm, slaughterhouse, hunting. That's everything.
What
Okay.
is
Yeah.
your
The
point,
issue is
forgot
Yeah.
my account? What is
Yeah.
my
your
point
Yeah.
is
goal right now? What is your point?
my
What are you trying to say? Because at the end of the day, it seems like we just ended up in a point where we disagree. You are committing a slippery slope fallacy, by the way, if you want to document yourself on what that is. That's what you're committing right now. But if you want to commit the slippery slope fallacy and have your beliefs about what could happen if, that's fine. You can have your own beliefs. As long as you're
the
going to
issue.
be vegan and not oppress animals, what the hell are
The
we
issue
talking
is
about?
the issue is the slippery slope fallacy is it's, hey, if you do drugs, you're gonna, like, say legalizing marijuana is gonna make people do cocaine and heroin. Like, that's a slippery slope. But this is
So is
based
this
on
one.
no, because this is based on the evidence of policies that you guys are literally advocating for.
No, it's
And
not.
what
Which
history
evidence shows that if we ban slaughterhouses, we'll reach totalitarianism again?
you're banning people. Okay, we have the argument right now where guns should be only used for hunting.
Wait, 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 wait,
Okay,
wait, wait, wait,
ban
wait.
hunting.
Let's
Then you
just
ban guns.
what's the evidence that if you ban slaughterhouses, it will turn into North Korea?
Yeah.
Well, here the argument is if you say you ban slaughterhouses, you ban hunting, ban all animal exploitation, then
So you're
there is
extrapolating.
no. But so you have that ban, and then now there are communities like the previous presidential.
Let me write this down. Hold on. If you ban slaughterhouses and hunting, then I'll just transcribe it. I need to really understand this.
Okay.
You can.
Okay, you ban slaughterhouses and hunting, then they would say, hey, why do you need to ban guns? I mean, let's ban guns because you don't have hunting anymore. And the previous administration literally said, why would you need this certain gun to hunt? So they equate firearms protection with hunting.
Okay, so what?
So
So
now,
what's bad about that?
so they
Okay, hold
ban
on. I
guns.
wrote this. Let me just follow. I wrote this down. If you ban slaughterhouses and hunting, then they would say, "Hey, why do you need to ban guns? Because you don't have hunting
Why?
anymore." And a previous
Yeah,
administration said, "Why do you need this certain gun to hunt?"
yeah,
What the fuck
exactly.
does that mean?
So
Yeah. Wait.
they
So
view
if they ban
Wait,
firearms.
wait,
guns,
wait.
why would
What I just wrote down makes sense to you?
Well,
it's just he's trying to say that if we ban slaughterhouses, they're gonna ban a certain type of a gun. because
They're
that
gonna
gun
ban
was
guns in
previously used
general.
for hunting. So okay,
Wait,
so
hold on.
what's wrong with banning guns?
Okay. Now,
Why would that
okay.
lead to North
Banning guns.
Korea? Guns are forbidden in Europe. How does that lead to North Korea?
Now,
Yeah.
hold on. So you ban food production. All right. You ban.
No, you ban
It's not
slaughterhouses,
food,
not
it's
food
Wait,
production.
I wrote this
Yeah,
down.
it's
So
not-
banning slaughterhouses entails ban guns entails North Korea.
No, there's more steps to this.
Oh wait,
So
wait, hold on, let's
you
get all the
ban
steps.
guns.
Hold on, wait. Ban slaughterhouses implies ban guns implies what?
Implies. So you ban guns. You ban the ability to protect yourself.
And
And
the ability to protect yourself implies.
Sorry, but what? I can't
are you?
stop
You
laughing.
guys are literally acting like the Germans did not ban guns from Jewish people and murdered
Dude,
them. Are you guys kidding me?
I live in Netherlands. We're not allowed to have guns, and it's not a totalitarian regime. What are you talking about? How
Are
is
you?
not allowing to have a gun leading to North Korea?
Well, England literally arrests people because of speech. Not even being figurative. They
Why?
literally arrest people because of speech.
How is
Netherlands?
again? How is not having guns leading to North Korea?
Because you put yourself. You guys act like you've never read a history book. It drives me insane. Because going from the scenario
Wait, do
that we
you
live in right now.
wait. So
to-
just like let's just look at the Netherlands. Do you think it's the case that the Netherlands will become North Korea?
Absolutely,
they think-
100%, 100%. You know
What's
what?
the evidence for that?
Okay, so the Netherlands, they
Netherlands
right now
will
to this day.
become North Korea because they have banned
No
guns.
way.
When was the
No,
gun
here-
ban? And
No, well, he said there's gonna. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with guns in Netherlands. He said that
how many
they don't
years
have
does it take from the gun ban until? Dude, they started in
There's no-
1933. 1933.
There's no.
They banned guns. The Netherlands banned guns like 100 years ago. How many more years till it's North Korea?
But because they have the view of like liberal policies right now of the states, they have this view of England,
brain.
they have the view of they base their policies off of what the traditional liberal view is at this moment.
let alone banning slaughterhouses does not entail logically banning guns. First of all, that's already a slippery slope fallacy and a stretch. Then banning
you've
guns leading to North Korea is yet another slippery slope fallacy and a
Dude,
stretch.
Australia
It just
banned
sounds
guns in '96. So
Yeah.
it's like, so almost 20 years ago. Again, Australia banned guns. When are they going to be North?
Australia also literally banned people from commuting during COVID. They banned people from even like certain forms of speech in Australia. They arrest people for.
I'm so confused now.
they arrest people in US for free speech. What the hell are you talking about, man? Like
They arrest
I
people
feel like
in the U.S. They arrest people for free speech if it's a direct call to action or violence. In Australia, it's Australia or Britain.
What
I
does
could
this
call
have to do
someone
with slaughterhouses
Sure.
again?
because we were going from why does banning slaughterhouses and banning factory farming and hunting, how can it lead to authoritarianism? It doesn't
And
happen
just to be clear,
overnight.
you still take you do take the view that drunk driving should be legal.
Well, no, because having a road beer, okay, you don't understand. But drunk
You
driving,
flip flopped on this like 3
No.
times.
Come on, Barky, just one more for the road.
drunk driving, no, because as you say, like there's evidence and whatnot that show
no.
that
Forgot my account. Hey, can you just
those
like
people.
create a step-by-step explanation how we lead from banning slaughterhouses to banning guns even? Can you just step-by-step explain how banning slaughterhouses leads to banning guns for self-protection? Because you said it would ban rifles that were used for hunting. And I'll even grant you that. But banning guns for self-protection, how does it lead to that?
Okay, Canada has literally you have no right to defend yourself. Like you can't have pepper spray.
How
You can't
does it
have
lead?
any-
How does banning slaughterhouses lead to banning guns for self-protection?
Dude, you
Canada
just keep
still
naming.
has slaughterhouses.
You just keep naming countries where it's not North Korea. Like, what is your point?
I'm having a conversation with people. Hold on. Sorry. What was your? Gotta go. Sorry.
Oh, he's gone.
What was
Okay.
this? Jesus Christ!
That was bizarre.
I'm so fucking confused.